Hi guys, hello everybody. I hope that you are all doing well. My name is Vendula Hausnerova and I'm a host from Agility on the Road podcast. Normally I have some guests there and we are sharing their life journey, and I thought that it would be nice if I could present myself a little bit more. Today I would like to share the beginning of my agility story, and as well it's my life story, right? Because as I started when I was 12 years old, I was a small girl, well, maybe a little bit higher. Agility was such a big part of my life that, of course, it's not just agility story, but it's life story as well. Once you start so young and you continue to do the sport or whatever activity, this activity becomes to be a part of you. For me, agility is something what I used to say that it's in my blood, that its field is the place where I feel naturally natural. Wherever it is, whatever continent, you just place me to the agility field and I know what to do there. Before I will share with you my journey, let me welcome you here on the beautiful island of Fuerteventura. In the moment we are in the north part of the island, in this beautiful, almost botanical garden, what is very rare in this island because it's volcanic islands. And even though nowadays we have some rains here, but in general it's the island where it's not so much green. So found myself in such a botanical garden feels almost like a miracle. This is garden of my friend. She was so nice and said yes, that I can use this garden as my studio. Actually, we are living nowadays with Elliot and with Sisu. I'm not quite sure if you can see them now, but they are hanging here around, so most probably they will cross by. In the moment we are living in a van and we are exploring this fun lifestyle. The lifestyle what was a dream of mine for the past few years. And we should chase our dreams, so that's what we are doing now. So I started with agility when I was 12 years old, or 12 years young girl, and I always dreamed about having a dog. And finally, when my parents bought me one, it was a small schnauzer called Arnie. I knew that I want to do some sport with him. And I was lucky enough that there was an agility club in our town. I'm saying lucky because back then in 2000, there were just 3 agility clubs in Slovakia. In our capital, in Bratislava, in the second biggest city, Košice, and in our small town, Liptovský Hrádok. It can sound almost like destiny. For me, to get to the training place, it meant to walk 30 minutes next to the river, and it was kind of like peaceful ritual. Like, nowadays we are driving for the trainings and for the competitions, and back then, I was walking half an hour there, half an hour home. It was perfect way to walk a doggy. It was perfect way to clean my mind as well and to have some physical a part of the agility training itself. So I have a Arnie. I had this small schnauzer, and I would say when I could see it nowadays that it wasn't the perfect fit for a 12 years old girl. But I got what I got, right? So I was trying to work with him to teach him as much as I could, and we are training agility together. He was enjoying it while we were training in our familiar place, in our training place, but he really didn't enjoy competition, arousal. He didn't even enjoy travel itself, to be in a car, and definitely he didn't enjoy the show around the competition. And as well, like, the days are long on the competition. Like, I can see it through the completely different lenses how I could see it before. Because nowadays, after so many years in the sport, I experience so many situations, so many dogs, and so many approaches, so many mindsets of the people, what is driving them to do agility. But imagine me as such a young girl. It was my dream. I was pointing the dates of the competitions. I think that back then, we had like 6 or 7 competitions per year in Slovakia. And we always got the dates at the beginning of the year, and I placed them to my calendar. I had every year calendar on my table, and I put the dates there. And it was something like Christmas, you know? It was something that I was living for back then. And then the competition itself came and we traveled there. I saved all my money, what money I had, right? But I saved the money and I was looking forward the day. And once we got there, my Arnie was not cooperating at all. And I took it somehow like personally back then. Like I was very sorry about that. And I was crying a lot. And, you know, it just made me sad because I wanted too much. And I saw it like a highlight. And in agility, the team, it's like it's a dog and the handler. It's like if we are talking about almost all the other sports or many other sports, when it's all just up to you, you will train and then you compete, right? But in agility, we are always two in a team. So yeah, I was always in and very happy. But Arnie back then was not cooperating. And I had 3 stories what I wanted to share with you. And the reason why I want to share it with you is especially that me as a judge, I experienced many times the situation when the dog didn't like to cooperate with the owner. And what I just want to say is that, guys, I feel you. I know how frustrating it is. And of course, there can be many reasons why the situations is happening, but I know how hard it can be when your full focus is on something and it's not working. Especially when I see some small child struggling on the course with a non-responsive doggy. I've been there as well. And here we go. There are my 3 stories with Arnie. So I think that we are competing just a year together. So it could be maybe 6, maximum 7 competitions together. And then I just give up. And yeah, in the last competition, I was crying after every competition. But after last competition, I was crying so badly that I knew that I can't come back. That like just my heart was broken. That was a time when my dear friend Monica came to me and she told me that our another friend is going to United States for a year and there is a possibility that I can compete and take care of her dog, Zombie. That's another story. Then I was competing with Zombie and everything changed because Zombie loved the sport and loved the show around it. So we were really enjoying it together. And Arnie could enjoy it as well because he could stay at home. We're still training with Arnie. He enjoyed training, but I was not taking him with me for the competitions as I knew that he's not happy there. But I took a Zombie and we were happy, both of us there. We are happy that we are together and we are happy that we can compete together and enjoy those butterflies in the stomach. But yeah, those 3 stories. First story was when Arnie on the competition jumped over first obstacle, second obstacle, and then he lied down and he didn't move. He didn't like to cooperate. I was going next to him and I was like trying like, come on, buddy. But he was not cooperating. So yeah, it took some time and then judge told me, oh, just take him and leave. So I took him and I left. It was pretty painful. Experience number 2 was when in another competition. It's funny because Arnie did it always just in one run. This kind of faux pas, or I think this kind of his way how to express his opinion about all of that. So the second one was when we were running to some agility course and he get on the top of the A-frame and he stayed there. He freeze there and he was just checking, you know, he was just looking to the right, to the left, and it was it. He didn't like to move. So what happened? After a while, the judge came, pushed his ass, Arnie moved, we finished our course with the elimination, of course, and I ran somewhere away to cry. And the last experience in our last competition together was when Arnie ran inside of the U-shaped tunnel. And you are right if you guess that he went inside and he stayed there. He lied down there. And he lied down. Back then, we used to have like U-shaped tunnels, but like really U-shaped. right? Not the straight like we have nowadays mostly, but this kind of U-shape that you couldn't see him neither from one entrance, neither from the another. So I remember how I was checking from one side, calling and clapping, then like the judge was checking from the other side. We couldn't see him. What we had to do at the end, we had to take the bags from the tunnel away, and we had to kind of like get him away from the tunnel that we could leave the course and the competition can continue. And it was the last bit for me. But then Monica came with this news that I can train with zombie, what I familiarly called Zambushka. So yeah, I continue, not with Arnie, I continue with Zambushka. And even nowadays, when I'm thinking about it, like back then I was like 13 years old maybe, I'm really surprised that I was even keep going to the competitions, you know, like I knew that something like this can happen, that Arnie can come up with something, but I was hoping, I love the sport so much that I was hoping that today it will change and it will run as on the training and like we'll enjoy it together. And it never happened, but I still, when the competition came, I was hoping again and again till I wasn't, right? I'm very happy. Today's Vendua is very happy for back then small Venduka that I didn't give up completely and that I keep showing up on the trainings and on the competitions, and eventually I continue with another doggy. Zambushka never stayed with us in my place living with me and my parents. She had her place, so I had to pick her up every day. We walk, then we go for a training. It was slightly more complicated, but it was possible. I made it work. What I wanted to say, there is always a way, even though sometimes the door seems to be closed and, you know, like you don't have a keys, like you have no idea how to get through, but sometimes miracle happen and just find the key somewhere and you open the door and you get inside, and then there will be another door and another door and another door, and like this we continue this game called life, right? So thank you so much for listening. It's very important for me to share this experience because it's a part of the journey, and sometimes we can see just the top of the iceberg of somebody's success, right? Like many times there are the stories under the surfaces would be never told, and if the story like this can encourage somebody of you who is now on the journey and the journey is not perfectly clear or everything is not going in a way as you would like, as you would wish, maybe just keep going and try to find the other way, because there is always way. And of course, sometimes we have to stop and change the course completely. But there are many ways. So how I like to say, just keep paddling. Have a beautiful day, and let's share some stories next time. Bye. And one last thing what I would like to mention to you, that if you would be interested about more behind the scenes stories, traveling adventures, and our agility explorings, be sure to check out our webpage agilityontheroad.com, and you can subscribe there to our monthly newsletter. No hard feelings, you can unsubscribe anytime. Take it or leave it. Have a good one and see you in the next episode.